Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kate and today I'm going to be going over my January TBR. Now I recognize we're already a couple days into January, so this is a bit late, but I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what I'll be reading this month, and you can let me know if there's anything you think I should prioritize. So I will talk about the higher priority reads, which is book club reads and any buddy reads that I have going. And then I'll talk about some MBR books that are on my list that I would love to get to, but if I don't get to them, I won't be brokenhearted. Okay, so the very first book club pick that I will talk about, I actually don't have physically. I'm going to be listening to the audio for this on Scribd since they thankfully had it available, and that is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. This is the January pick for the book checkout book club that I do with my friend Sarah from Brighton Bookish, Kristen from Kristen is Fully Booked. I am definitely nervous about this one because I didn't love the last Becky Chambers book that I read, which was Psalm for the Wilde Built, but I'm hoping this will have Mass Effect fun crew vibes that will work out for me, so we'll see how this goes. I will probably be aiming to listen to this during my commute, just because that's the easiest way for me to get in audiobooks. So that's one I am definitely getting to, because we are going to be doing in the live show in February. We've not announced a date yet, but as soon as I know that, I'll let you guys know. That will be on Kristen from Kristen Craves Books channel. This is actually one of her favorite books, so fingers crossed, we all love it. The next buddy read, it's actually a read-along I am following along with, is the Cosmere read-along that is being hosted by Roger over at Roger Reads. There's a number of other hosts, Stephanie from Miss Richards Reads, Angela from Literature Science Alliance, Jessie from The Bookish Mom. I'm forgetting someone. I'm going to feel like a real dick when I remember who it is. But I think that's it. I will definitely link the announcement for that down below. But anyway, in January, everybody is reading Secret Project number 1 from Sanderson. I think the title is pretty well known, but just in case someone is trying to avoid that and hasn't gotten to it yet, good luck to you. But I won't say that. I will be picking that up pretty early on in the month. I have actually already started a little bit of it. I'm probably immersion reading that one because I like Kramer's narration. I just have to figure out how I'm going to handle the audiobook, since Sanderson is rightfully keeping it off of Audible. So, and if you haven't heard about why he's doing that, definitely look into it. I really appreciate him taking that stand. I'm not violently anti-Amazon, but I appreciate him calling them out on that because it's not acceptable. The next priority read for me is one I own physically, and that is Sailing to Sarantium by Gavriel K. I am super excited to be continuing on with GGK because I read Song for Our Bun last year and adored it. It was absolutely one of my favorite books of the year. I will be having a video on that. I just haven't gotten there yet. Sarah, who I've mentioned from Brighton Bookish, is doing a read-through of all of GGK's works that she hasn't read yet this year. So I am going to be following along and starting with the Sarantium Mosaic, and this is book 1 of that duology. So super excited to get to this one. It does have Byzantine vibes. So, one of my other priority reads is actually a nonfiction on the Byzantine Empire, just because I wanted to pair that. This is really fun to do with GGK's books so far. Well, I've only read the one. But I had a great time pairing Song for Our Bun with a book on the Cathar heresy. I will be reading Byzantium, The Surprising Life of a Medieval Empire by Judith Herrin. I'll have a picture here because I only have it on Kindle. But I have actually already started this and I'm loving it so far. It's less dense history than you would expect because Herrin is writing it for a more general audience. It's giving you more of like a broad overview of the Byzantine Empire. So super excited to continue with that and then pick up the first Sarantium Mosaic book. The next priority read is, and I will be talking about this later, again, that's just like a continual promise for me, I guess. But I'm going to be starting a series that was inspired by Kate over at the Literary Apothecary, has books my boyfriend gave me. my boyfriend has been suggesting books to me that I have not been prioritizing, which makes me feel like a real jerk. So, I am going to be doing a Kendrick Recommends series, and the first one that I'm going to read is actually a book that I started reading like several years ago and loved. Partway through reading it, I recommended it to him. He finished the entire series, and before I finished the first book, and I have not continued on. I think I started the second book, but got kind of annoyed with one of the side characters and didn't continue. So, my priority for the first part of this year is Promise of Blood and the rest of the Powder Mage, and then the Gods of Blood and Powder series by Brian McClellan. This is Flintlock fantasy. I really enjoy this first one. I know it has mixed reviews, but if you enjoy sort of Flintlock, Napoleonic era warfare, plus a bit of magic, and you can overlook some conveniences and you're not super character driven, it's a great time. I really like the characters, but again, mixed review on this one, but I am super excited to get back to it, and I just have to power through Taniel being a whiny little baby in the second book. So, I'm only going to be reading this first book in January and then continuing on once a month after this. Then I have another buddy read, because I never can resist those, and that is going to be a memory called Empire by Arkady Martine. This has been on my TBR forever because of Angela over in Literature Science Alliance. I just have not gotten to it, and I ended up joining a buddy read for this over in Gregory LaPerch's Discord. So definitely looking forward to finally getting to this, probably mid-month. But I'm hoping that the buddy read will finally drive me to get there. Then, another book club is Leslie over at the Nerdy Narrative has a wine and crime book club that has done sort of horror, thriller type books so far, and I have been not doing great on keeping up with these or being able to join the live shows, but I'm determined this month because I already own the book for it, and that is Just Like Home by Sarah Gailey. This is a horror with a haunted house. I believe the main character her father was a serial killer. And there's all kinds of awful things in the house. So, it's horror. So it'll be gross, but I'm looking forward to checking it out. And I have liked some other books by Sarah Gailey, so I'm hoping I really enjoy this one. So, that's a priority. And then I have a series that is going to be on my series that I want to read in 2023, which again will be upcoming. And that is Eisenhorn by Dan Abnett. This is a Warhammer 40k series. This is actually the omnibus of the first 3 books in Eisenhorn. I believe there's 4 total. This was recommended to me years ago, like at least 7 years ago, and I just have never gotten around to it. It has more sort of detective, rooting out heresy vibes, as far as I understand it, and I really want to finally get to this so that I can say that I've picked it up and stop feeling guilty about being a terrible friend. So, definitely picking this one up in January. I will only be reading the first one. I'm not reading all 1,000 pages or whatever this is. I think each book is only like 300 pages, so should be manageable. Okay, so now we're finally to the MBR section, which is great because I already have too many books on this list. And I have 4 books that I got in book boxes in November and December that I have not gotten to, and my goal going forward in 2023 is going to be to read the book box books that I get the month after I get them, so that I don't get as behind as I have been from all of 2022. So that was, I literally have a pile of shame of book box books that I didn't get to. So I'm really going to try hard to keep up with those. No guarantees, this is the MBR section, but I'm going to do my best. So the first one, which is the Fairy Loot pick, Right. Yeah. This is the Fairy Loot December pick, and that is Emily Wilde's Encyclopaedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. This looks like it's going to be a fantasy romance. The main character, Emily Wilde, is a prickly scholar of fairy lore and ends up going to this village to investigate and ends up running into an academic rival of hers and has to deal with her rival as well as her studies. It sounds like it'll be cozy and fun. I really like the end papers, and it has cool edges there. This is a beautiful purple that I am really hoping I like because I would love to add it to my shelves. Then I have the Illumicrate. I have the Illumicrate December book, and this one is actually, the copy that I have is from Waterstones because, frankly, I forgot that I ordered, or that I didn't know when I ordered this, that Illumicrate was going to be picking this as the December book, and unfortunately I have not gotten my December book yet because Illumicrate's a bit behind. So, this is not the prettiest version of this, but I will hopefully be getting it, and it is Red Scholar's Wake by Aliette de Bodard. I have really enjoyed this author's previous books. It tends to be high concept sci-fi that includes mind ships and includes a lot of mingling of Vietnamese culture into a spacefaring society. So it's very cool. I really enjoy them, but again, it's not necessarily for everyone, and I've heard somewhat mixed reviews on this because Bodard tends to write shorter fiction, and I don't know that this has worked as well for a lot of the people that have picked it up, but because I really enjoy her stuff in the past, I'm definitely looking forward to checking this one out. All I know about it is like space pirates plus romance, so it sounds fun, and looking forward to it. Then, because I have no self-control whatsoever, in November, I got the opportunity to join the Goldsboro, what is it called? I'm not going to remember this name right. The Goldsboro Sci-Fi Fantasy Fellowship? If I get that wrong, I'll put it here. I probably did get it wrong. Let's just assume I did. But anyway, their November book, which I just got, is The Immortality Thief by Taran Hunt, which again, absolutely gorgeous. And they wrap theirs in foil, which is pretty sweet. I know very little about this other than that it's space opera. Yeah, far off the edge of human existence, beside a dying star, lies a nameless ship, abandoned and hidden, lost for a millennium. But there are secrets there, terrible secrets that would change the fate of humanity, and eventually someone will come looking. And then the main character is a refugee, criminal, and linguist who ends up being made an offer he can't refuse to go investigate this ship. So, it's a beautiful book. It sounds like a very intriguing sci-fi. It is a bit longer than I tend to prefer, but we'll see if I can fit it in. And the book that I am quite frankly just sneaking this on, because it is the Goldsboro book for December, and I really want to read it, and I had already gotten it from Waterstones, and that is City of Lost Chances by Adrian Tchaikovsky, which has this super cool gold foiling on the front of it. I've heard rave reviews for this. It's supposed to be Tchaikovsky being sort of subtle and following a city that's in the midst of revolution. And I've heard that it's sort of separate stories that get intertwined, and I am super excited for this. I will definitely be getting to this in January, even if I skip some priority reads. So, what are priorities? I clearly don't know. But excited for that one. Then, this one is less of an MBR and more of a slow read. And this is, I swear, one of the last books on this TBR, because this is outrageous. Is A History of the World in 100 Objects. You have the director of the British Museum basically picked 100 objects, as you may guess. And there's just a couple pages on each one. So I'll be reading one a day of these starting in January and going till the end of it. And then I have a couple other similar books that I'm going to have as basically bedtime reading for myself throughout the years. So first one of these. So I will get to that one, at least. And there are a couple other things that may or may not happen in January that I won't mention just because I don't know what the story is going to be on those, but you may see a couple other things pop up here and there. Again, I think I'm already at like 11 or some book. Insane. I never read more than 8 books in a month, so I don't know where my brain is at. But we're doing it. We'll see what happens. Let me know what you are reading in the month of January. Hopefully you have way more reasonable TBRs than I do, but I'm excited to talk with you down below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!